So, Hawkeye, episode 5, we're going to start with. We're a week late on this one, but we're just going to combine them into two, so that way we still have our thoughts on every episode.
Yeah.
Up on the channel. Yeah, I mean, we don't need to talk about it. Spoiler free, we just kind of launch into it, I guess. I don't know. Did you take notes on both of these?
I did not, because I wanted to go into them. I wanted to go into them as like a fan who's going to give their thoughts on it. We're not doing like an in-depth review. I just went into it, and I went, episode 5 was. It was good.
Yeah, I mean, I've got notes on both of them still, like not extensive notes by any means, obviously, because there's not a ton. But I mean, so episode 5 opens in 2018 with Yelena, and she's just how they picked up from or they pick up right where Black Widow left off, where she's going around cleaning up and like quote unquote curing all the Black Widows.
Yeah. And by the way, greatest moment of the whole episode, in my opinion.
Oh my god, I'd forgotten about it, by the way, and now I was reading my notes and I was like, actually, I'm kind of excited to talk about this. This is so cool.
It's a huge moment because we get to see the exact feeling of somebody who gets blipped back or snapped back. Like, that's crazy. That's got to be scary as shit.
It's crazy. I mean, we got what was the other show we got a little bit of it in? Was it? I think it was Falcon and Winter Soldier, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. They talked about it. Yeah. They briefly.
No, because one of them like showed someone coming back in a hospital. Was that Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Yes, it was Falcon and Winter Soldier.
No, that was WandaVision.
It was
the woman whose name I can't remember, who's the son or the daughter of.
She's gonna be in the Marvels.
Yeah. So, that was also very cool. But okay, so they're fighting. They go up and they fight this woman, and there's just a weird point where they're like, "Hey, we're here to get you," and she's like holding a cup of like tea or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, okay," and then she pauses, and then she throws the cup plate at Yelena.
Yeah.
But she just, at point blank range, she just throws it and completely misses. Like, Yelena does not move at all. She doesn't dodge anything. She just stands there. It's like, how did you... You're supposed to be a Black Widow assassin. How did you miss that? I don't know what that was. I guess they just figured people wouldn't notice and think it was some sort of cool, like, dodge thing or something.
Yeah.
But then they find out that she's not actually brainwashed.
Nope.
And she's just kind of killing people for money.
I mean,
which they don't seem to care about.
If you got the skill, fuck it, right?
Yeah, but like, shouldn't Yelena be like, "Hey, that's still no bueno," No. Like,
I mean, who is she to speak when what she's doing in the next episode? She followed the girls.
Yeah, but that's like a revenge thing. It's not like she's just like, I can use some money. Let me go kill some people.
I mean, it's partially revenge, but she's still getting paid for it.
Revenge. Yeah, she's getting paid for it. But
exactly.
Yeah, but she's not doing it for the money. She has no interest in the money.
I mean, possibly. I don't know. Who's to say, really?
Because that was kind of the whole thing in Black Widow, is she kind of turned around towards the end and got on Natasha's side and like, we need to cure these people. Yeah. And I'm not gonna go around and murder people anymore for money.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then she goes in the bathroom, and the way that this is like done is so phenomenal. Like, it's fantastic. I'm remembering it now. It's just like she looks down to wash her hands, and then she dusts and immediately reforms.
Yeah.
And that's like, so from her perspective, what would have happened. Like, she literally like didn't exist. They weren't just like floating around somewhere. Like, for them it was immediate. Yeah. Which they've never mentioned or discussed that before at all. Yeah. All they've ever shown is people coming back, and they're like, "Oh, I've been gone for 5 years." They don't say that it was instantaneous for them, which is so interesting.
Very cool.
I can't believe it took them this long to explore that, if that's the case. You know what I mean? But I'm glad they finally did, because it was amazing, and everything starts to fade in on the walls around her because the building has changed.
Yep. Like, try to put yourself like, oh, dude, like, honestly, I try to picture myself in that position, and I'd be terrified. Like, dude, it's scary as fuck. Like, to think about that.
She clearly was like, what just happened? Like,
yeah.
Because she hasn't, I mean, they went through like a little, I guess a semi-crazy thing with like the helicarrier, but nothing supernatural has she ever experienced.
Yeah.
At all. And so, it's wild. That was
very, very cool. Very, very cool.
So Kate comes home from like the last episode where they left off on the rooftop. She comes home and talks to her mom, and she's like beat to crap, which I like. I always like a good scene of like That's why I like those scenes in the Amazing Spider-Man where he goes home and has those conversations with
Yeah.
May, and he's like totally messed up, and I really like scenes like that, especially when it's like younger heroes.
Yeah,
I feel like it,
because it's like it's a bigger responsibility of the parent to be, concerned
and you can just you can feel like the emotions between them where she's
yep,
like, oh God, I probably should have done this, and the mom's like, oh my God, are you okay? And it's just like I like scenes like that.
yep. No, I agree.
Um,
They're usually pretty well done.
so she goes. I don't at all remember why she goes back to her apart. Oh, she goes back because her mom's like, here, pack up your stuff and
Yes.
come and live with me for a while.
Yeah.
So she goes back to her apartment to collect her stuff,
Yeah.
and Yelena shows up. Um, which I was like, when I first saw it, I was kind of like, where is this going? Like, is she have some? Maybe she's not there to kill Clint or something. Like, because like, why would she go after him? But then, as the scene goes on, you realize, yes, she's definitely got a vendetta against Clint, and she
Yeah.
thinks he killed Natasha.
Yep. She doesn't
And
realize
she
everything that she. I mean, clearly, as we find out later, she has no idea what actually happened. She
no,
was
of
just
course not.
she was just given the motive and then pointed in the right direction. That's literally what happened.
Yeah. Um, she made macaroni,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Kate is extremely tempted by it. Like
Can we talk about for a moment how fucking we talked about
she
it in
keeps
Black
like, I
Widow?
mean,
No, how fucking adorable Yelena is, bro. Like,
she's so like um yeah, she kills it in both of these episodes.
yeah,
Like
she's fucking great. Her
specifically the
personality is
next
like,
episode we're about
bro.
to talk about, like no
Yeah.
matter how kind of like not exactly stellar the writing is, she is like going all in acting wise.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
appreciate that. She's not phoning it
By the
in at
fact that you
all, even
said
though it
that,
is a
by the fact
TV
that you said
show.
that, I guarantee you both and I are gonna have the same thought towards the end there.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. I can already tell just by the way you said that because of the writing. I can already tell.
Yeah, so they had that whole conversation, and I also love like the kind of, I guess, cliche dodge of where she's like, "Where's Clint?" And she's like, "I actually have no idea." And she's like, "Okay, I believe you." And then she leaves.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, "I don't believe," like, yeah, like she can tell just like she reads her like a book. She's like, "Yeah, she definitely doesn't know where she is," which I
Yeah.
like. So Clint goes to the LARP guy, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it might be kind of cutting slightly back and forth between Yelena and the apartment in this, because I wrote a note that Yelena knows everything about Kate. She like reveals that she's been like
Yeah. Kate's like, oh, why are
researched
you
her.
saying everything? She's like, why do you keep saying my name? Huh? You trying to tell me that you know me? Like, yeah.
Yeah, which was cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Though,
and
though, though, Kate is obviously outmatched. She's not completely stupid either.
no, yeah,
That I do
she's
like.
yeah,
She's
it's
okay. So even though some of the writing is weak, Yelena for the most part is somewhat
she's
rounded in
consistent
writing.
with her character
Yes,
from the movie.
and fucking Kate and Clint throughout this series, they're actually very well written. Both of them specifically.
They stay, yeah, specifically them together stays pretty good.
Yes.
But why, Helena has like looked into all of this so much, but she has like not taken the time to even remotely look into Clint enough to find out, that it was an accident, or like at least that he states that it's an accident. Because when
Yeah.
Kate's like, "Oh no, he would never do that," she's like, "Oh, are you sure?" Like she wouldn't
So
even, like clearly nobody really knows what happened
that's what I'm saying. I think
on the planet,
personally,
but like she could have
I
found
think
out that
Clint
he's
did that
going
on
around
purpose.
telling people that it was an accident.
I don't think he
Oh,
did though. I think that's just it. I think that's them showing you that Clint didn't talk to anybody. Clint didn't tell anybody shit. I think
he
he kept
told
that
all the
up.
Avengers
Yes,
in
but they
Endgame.
didn't. But they didn't write it down. You know what I'm saying? They didn't exactly write
No,
it down. So that's what I'm telling you. I don't think. I don't think. I think it's not supposed to be public knowledge. Plain and simple. I don't think
I,
it's supposed to be public knowledge.
guess there's probably no way for her to find out, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. So and then Clint goes to a memorial for the Battle of New York,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. There's a lot of kind of world building in terms of like how, excuse me, how the world would kind of react to stuff
Yeah.
like this, over time anyway. And I think that's kind of interesting, and this especially kind of makes a decent amount of sense. And he talks to Natasha directly,
Yes.
and
Very, very, very meaningful in a good way. His acting is really good in this.
Yeah, and
Like he's
I
like
don't
upset and
quite
crying. He's like, I really wish I could talk to you right now.
yeah,
Or I really need to talk to you right now. That's what
I
he
don't
says.
quite know what the like because he's he says that he's like I hope you forgive me for what I'm about to do. But
Yeah.
then he goes there and does his fighting or whatever, but he doesn't kill anyone,
Nope.
right?
Nope.
Or does he? Is he fighting them with
No.
the sword?
Yeah, he's fighting. He fights.
But does he kill the other? No, he doesn't kill them.
No,
He
he doesn't
wouldn't.
kill.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. So then, yeah. So what is he? What did he do that was wrong? I
That's
don't
what I'm saying.
understand.
I don't understand that either. Yep.
I thought he was about to go and kill her.
Nope.
That's what I thought the idea was, and but then maybe there was supposed to be kind of a thing where maybe he changes his mind, but they didn't portray it that way at
That
all. If
way.
that was
Nope.
supposed to be the case, he just kind of shows up, says his thing, and leaves.
Yep.
Um, but there's a cutaway to two of the tracksuits in a truck, and they're listening to Run DMC, and he's like, "Run DMC is classic tracksuits," or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently this show is based heavily off of one specific run of comics.
Yeah.
I can't remember what exactly it is at the top of my head, but they took heavy inspiration from
Yeah.
it. I'll try and look real quick. It's Matt Fraction's 2012 kind of series. And it's a lot. It's basically this. And
Yeah.
like a lot of the visuals and stuff are directly taken from that as well. Like the
Which,
title
by the way,
sequence.
I actually like the visual. I do.
Yeah. And then, like the title sequence and all that, and like the way that's I guess drawn or animated is very much in that style. So I think they stayed relatively faithful to it. But he shoots a quote unquote message arrow into the window that just like pops out and gives them a little
Scares the
blown up
shit out of me.
message. Yeah. Some point it's been a minute since I've seen the episode, so I can't remember exactly. But somebody must say, I think it's Hawkeye. He says something about it's only a matter of time before the big guy gets involved. And I was making
Yeah.
a note of that because obviously at the time I didn't know what was coming
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
And he calls his wife, and she is like again so on board with, and she even like at this point you're still assuming like, oh, he's about to suit up his Ronin and go kill everyone. And he seems to imply that to her as well. And she's like, you do what you got to do. I trust you. Like,
Yeah.
if you got to do that, do it. And I was like, wow, she is like way even more okay with this than I originally thought. Like, she is so supportive to a whole other level. And yeah, he suits up as Ronin and he takes them all out and he gets down to just Maya. And he basically tells her that he was tipped off when he killed her dad.
Yep.
He was tipped off by an informant who works for your boss, and then he says your boss wanted your dad dead.
And
And
the thing is, Maya, she knows that there's some truth to it. She has to because she knows how her boss is.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So
She's probably
she's like shit. Like, okay, he's probably telling the truth.
yeah. I think she probably would have already had maybe some suspicions in some way,
Yep.
perhaps. But yeah. So I think something happens. Kate saves him, and they get away in this car or in a taxi. And she mentions like, "Hey, Natasha's sister is, coming after you or whatever."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, Yelena." So you like realize that he's known of her existence for
Yes.
quite some time. He just has never met her.
Yep.
So and then we get the end. Yelena tracks down and follows Kate's mom, and Kate's mom also hired her.
Yep.
And she's working for Kingpin.
Yep.
And that's when we get
As
the
in
reveal.
Kingpin, Daredevil, Netflix Kingpin, like
yes, like
yes.
the one and only.
Kingpin, yeah.
And it's just like all you get to
yeah.
see is this, photo on the phone of just like a blurry image of him, but it's
Yep.
him.
You know it's him.
And he's like, "This is the guy I was worried about the whole time, Kingpin." And then it cuts to the credits, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Wow! Finally, they did it." And okay,
Yeah.
so now I can finally talk about this because I put up,
Yeah, spoilers this whole time.
and yeah, the other ones I put up spoilers, and also there's I told you outside of the podcast, I believe that
Yeah.
I had discovered something. So I recently finished watching Daredevil season 3 for the first time. I had just watched like the whole series.
Yeah, you actually didn't tell me about this. You held it in. You didn't tell me yet. But go ahead. They
What?
said,
No,
yeah, you feel like you found out something, so you feel like it conflicts with something, right?
no. I told you about this. It's about the hotel.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So in Daredevil season 3, if you haven't seen it, I guess, or it's not a huge spoiler. There's a hotel in that show that is owned by Wilson or Kingpin. And in episode 1 of this show, the party that they have where she like goes outside and first meets the dog and all that, that is the exact same hotel. And I discovered this probably around right after episode 4. And so I was like, that's 100% that means something. And now it makes even more sense because she's working for him. So of course she's having a party at like a hotel that he owns. Like he probably gave her that space to use. So it all tied together, and I love that they used that as a detail because they didn't really necessarily have to do that, but
yeah, they did.
I caught it ahead of time, and I was like, okay, it has to be. They're 100% setting it up to be him.
Yep.
And the end of the credits, I think I told you to stay to the end, and you saw it as well, or the end of the, credits like animated sequence at the very end. It zooms out.
It's him. It's a shadow.
Yeah. Well, it's like everything is in like the silhouette of like his shoulders.
It's so good.
And it's fantastic.
It's so good.
In retrospect, not as interesting as we thought it was going to be, but that seemed to be like setting up. Okay, that seemed to be setting up. That like this was going to be a huge thing, and he was like, I don't know. It made it seem like a much bigger thing than it actually.
Yeah. Okay, so here's all right. So episode 5. Great episode, right? It sets up for this thing where you're just like, oh, big things are about to happen. Then I already knew the last episode was going to be complete garbage because we get our season finale.
Yeah, dude, I did not know. I never pay attention to these things. And when you told me it was the season finale, I was like, are you what?
Yep. What? When I saw it was the season finale, I said, oh,
it's happened with every single one of these shows. I go, excuse me? Yeah. What? We still have probably at least 6 more episodes worth of stuff that needs to be wrapped up.
Yeah.
And you go, nope, this is the final episode. Every single time. What are they so afraid of with these shows? Like, are they worried that they can't put enough like budget into it to make more episodes? Like, people are gonna watch these. I don't understand. Like, why are they so scared to,
that's part of the problem.
Go all out with these.
Don't get me wrong. I fucking love these shows, right? But it's set up for bigger things. It's just setups. That's all it is at the end of the day. And it's just kind of annoying. Even more so, it's like, I'm not even going to go over everything that happens in episode 5 unless you want to. Like, if you have a couple notes, if you want to go through your notes. Because I don't want to talk about it yet. Let's finish. Yeah, episode 6. Sorry. Let's finish up episode 6. And then I'll go over like everything that I want to talk about. Because I don't want to spoil anything without us going over the episode.
Okay. So, I mean, it starts right in on Kingpin. Like, no beating around the bush with that. He's there, and he's got his, classic comic book, like, I don't know what you call it, like little staff thing, little pin.
His cane,
whatever. A cane thing, yeah. It's like, but it's like super short, so you can't really cane with it. I don't know what you call it. There's a
he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to cane with it, but yeah.
And he's in this conversation between them. He kind of reveals that, her mom, her dad owed him a lot of money.
Kate's dad.
Yeah, Kate's dad, which is kind of why she's been like quote unquote paying it back.
Yep.
And then some. We also find out that she killed Armand and framed Jack
on purpose. Fucked, bro. Completely.
Yeah. Which I am pretty sure. So I remember hearing in a video at one point that I was watching that in the comics, Jack Duquesne is a villain.
Yeah.
So I think that was like supposed to be an intentional, like leading you to believe that it really was him. Even though we did kind of predict early on, we were like, yeah, something's up here. It's like the mom, and he's going to end up being a good guy in some way.
Yeah.
And that was completely right for sure.
Yep.
So
disappointingly so, by the way. I was hoping they were going to do a double twist and then have him be the villain. Honestly, that's low key what I was hoping for.
Yeah, because he's a fantastic villain. or not that character, but like the guy who
Yeah,
plays him.
the guy who plays him was
So good.
great. Made himself likable, honestly.
Interestingly, though, she's like, "Hey, I'm getting out of this business, and I've kept a bunch of like documents and stuff that I can use to,
frame him basically.
Yeah, get rid of you if you try and kill me or whatever."
Which we all know that's probably not a good idea. You know,
it's a terrible idea because the
dude.
last time that somebody tried to blackmail Kingpin was in Daredevil season 1, and he said, "I'm walking out of here. I've got stuff on you," and Kingpin bashed his skull in right then and there, no hesitation.
Nope.
And it was like some dead man switch or something, like to release information about him, and he just killed him immediately, and then said, "Hey," go to one of his guys, like, "Hey, go deal with this." Like, he does not care.
Yeah, like,
he
dude,
will.
But that's honestly what makes
on
him
the
such
spot
a villain, though.
Yeah. So like, but then so then I'm thinking like, well, why is he? I think though, like, it's a different thing here. He wants to keep it a little bit quieter. Especially assuming that Daredevil, like the show is canon.
Yeah.
If that all those events still did happen, he's probably kind of in a different place now, where he wants to remain a lot more low key, and probably make it seem like, instead of making it seem like she just disappeared and all of a sudden is dead and shows up with her skull bashed in, he probably wanted to make it seem like it was some sort of hit and that it couldn't be like really linked back to him as easily.
Yep.
So they make a bunch of arrows in the apartment, which is it's okay. A little unbelievable.
I feel like I
don't know where they got those materials.
Yeah, I mean, they show you some of the stuff that they've had hidden away. Like, he had a bunch of Stark stuff, like, literally just sitting there. So that is believable that he had like Stark stuff, and he also had Pym stuff hidden away. Yeah. He even at some point mentions, like, when they shoot the one arrow and make that certain thing happen later, where he's like, "Oh, I don't know, I'll have to ask Scott about it." So clearly he's still in touch with Scott. But, I mean, we'll see. Because there's more to this. There's definitely more to this.
Yeah, they finished making the arrows, and she has a nice little kind of speech that she gives to him about how he kind of inspired.
Power comes great responsibility. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. How he inspired her to be like, to realize that like you don't have to have powers or lasers or anything in order to do the right thing. You just have to want it enough, basically. And I thought that was good, and I thought she did well in that scene.
Yep.
So they go to the party, and all the LARPers are waiters, and I don't know how that possibly could have happened.
Yeah, I don't fully understand that either. I saw that and I was like, okay. And Rachel pointed it out, but I didn't want to say anything. But I was like, But I was kind of like, okay.
I just don't know. There's no way they could have gotten them work. It doesn't make any sense. But they're there. It's such a weird thing. Like, what is up with this kid? Like, I'm sure if I've read the comics, I would know what's going on. But this kid, like this other Armand kid,
that's arguing him.
He comes up and he's like, "Hey, Jack, I thought you were in jail," and he just like walks up out of nowhere and says that, and it's like, "What are you talking about? What are you saying?" And then they have this whole like exchange. And he's like, "Do you remember when you peed your pants in the Hamptons?" I do. Yeah. We all remember. And it's like, what is going on? Who is this kid? I don't understand. He's so weird. And then Yelena shows up.
Yeah.
And Hawkeye gets shot at from across the way, and he blocks it with a platter.
This is where we get some of the cooler stuff, right? Because you have Yelena on the rooftop part. Yeah. Oh wait, no, sorry, not yet. Go ahead, keep going.
We got a little bit more.
Yeah, we got a little bit more.
But he blocks the shot, and it like knocks over a glass behind him, and this is random lady, and she goes like, "What is this?" Like, she starts freaking out. It's just so weird. So she goes, so he goes down, I guess, like a ways to a certain floor to try and take out the sniper. And Yelena's tracking him, and she's like, you're just gonna guess which floor he's on? And like the elevator dings, she's like, 12th floor. And then she hops in. And this scene with him in the elevator it's great. This might be my favorite scene of the episode, honestly. Where they're just
fighting each other.
Yeah, Yelena and Kate in the elevator, like just it's great. It's really funny.
It's very good. Probably some of the better parts, because it's like you're saying, it's funny, but they also have like really good like even some of like the fighting though it's kind of bleh. It's still pretty good. It's like meant to be comical, like. But and they complement each other. They also complement each other.
Yeah, they do, and especially in the elevator scene, it was pretty funny, like seeing her just try to get to the buttons. She was like, "No, please don't do that." And then she does it. She's like, God, it's so annoying. Because she's like, now I actually like go out. Like it was never gonna actually stop her, but it just like annoyed her basically because now she actually had to jump out the window and do all this stuff. Yeah, there's also it's so weird to me because like during these fights, there's some hints of like some really great like camera work and shots, but they always cut too early. Like they don't let it breathe enough.
I'm just gonna skip real quick. You know what turned me off to this whole episode?
No.
The Kingpin versus Kate fight.
Yeah. Well,
that fight was horrendous, bro.
It wasn't really a fight.
No, it kind of was,
problem.
but the cuts were so bad, bro. They were bad.
Well, hold on. Because okay, so what I mean though is like this is all fine. Like there's some nice. This is what I mean is like if they don't go far enough with it. Like there's the shot. Like they keep it like the camera's in the wall, tracking with them as they fight their way through the offices.
Yes. It's a pseudo one take.
They don't linger on it enough. Like it's just even though it's a pseudo one take, they'll only one take it for like 30 seconds and then they cut away, and it's like really kind of lackluster fighting. Like they didn't do enough with it. And then when she goes out the window,
yes, that's the only cool moment in my opinion.
It is cool, but when she goes out the window, like she flips out and the camera like rotates with her, right? Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this is dope. And then she starts going down, and then it just cuts, and then it goes to a regular like standard shot. And I'm like, but this is so cool the way you started to go out. Why aren't you following her down still? That would have been way more interesting. But instead, they just cut back to like a pretty basic shot of her just kind of going down the windows.
Yep.
So
and honestly, I think that's what turned me off. Is like a lot of the shots were like just when you start to be like, oh my god, it's gonna be awesome. It's like, oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, like they really move away from it. It's just like, why did they do that? Like, and I'm telling you right now. Okay, we'll keep going, but I'll tell you right now, the fucking fight with Kingpin really pissed me off. Just straight up. Oh my god!
I just looked up that episode 6, and the first thing that shows up is Hawkeye episode 6 recap. MCU's most pointless series bids adieu.
Damn.
That's harsh.
But not wrong.
Not necessarily, yeah. They are like fighting on the ground and stuff. Kate jumps out after her, and they're fighting on the ground, fighting the tracksuits. That guy shows back up, and he's like, "Hey, your advice you gave me about my girlfriend worked." And she's like, "Really? That's great. Why are you trying to shoot me in the face?" And he's like, "I don't know." Hawkeye has to jump out, and he lands in the tree, or he gets like, the cord snaps and he lands in the tree, and then Kate cuts it down with like an acid arrow. And
you find out that he's been wearing a suit. Like the tree breaks down, and you find out he's been wearing the suit under the whole time. Which, by the way, I will give them props. I like the costumes, but would have been more surprising. Cool. Would have been more
if they didn't put it right on the front.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just thinking it's mind blowing to me because not even just to mention that, but that shot of them where they finally like the camera like revolves around them and ends on them like in a pose together. That's like been everywhere. Like that was in all the market. Like, what are you doing?
Yes,
like that's like one of the supposed to be like the big moment of the show, like the climax.
I will tell you right now.
What is wrong with you people?
This is the one time I can 100%, 110% agree with you where a trailer ruined something because this is really bad. Like
I just don't understand.
The trailer actually gave us a lot of ending stuff because it's true. The shots of them working together, the fights at the end, like that, all that is shown in the trailer heavily. So that was
I never even watched the trailer. I would just like when I was making thumbnails for the episodes, I was looking up Hawkeye images, and that's like the first image that pops up everywhere is them doing.
Yeah, because it's in the trailer. It's in the fucking trailer.
I think it's crazy to me, and like and just the fact that like I don't know why you wouldn't just have like when you click on the show on Disney Plus, it shows them in the costumes as like the background. Why not just have it be like her in costume and him wearing his old costume or like wearing the suit or something, and then have that be like a surprise that he wore it at the end.
Yep.
Like I don't know. It makes no sense to me. I don't get it.
They definitely did a lot of stuff wrong for this series. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to agree with that comment that you read about how it's legitimately one of the most pointless series. It really is. It's so sad, but it's so pointless. You could skip this, and you will literally miss nothing except for Yelena and
I guess we'll have to see in the future how much actually comes out of this, which we'll talk about in a minute here. Dude. So I wrote down pretty much like all the stuff they do here. So they get in this fight in the middle of the ice skating rink. You got the magnet arrow on the poles, which I thought was very cool.
Very cool.
That was a nice one. There's a flash arrow, an arrow that shoots like needles into them. an arrow that freezes a guy's leg. There's a rocket arrow that like
but
carries a guy away in the air.
Somehow.
Yeah. There's a rocket arrow that carries a guy into the air.
Yeah.
An
Very cool.
electro cuff arrow.
So this whole little thing, this was amazing, right? Because it's like we got to see a lot of cool badass shit showcased. That was actually really fucking awesome.
I don't know. Yeah. Some of the like, there's maybe a couple of these that are really cool, and then other ones are just like they're all right, and some of them are like basically the same thing. Like the needle arrow and the sleep dart arrow are basically the same thing.
Yeah, they really are though.
I didn't know what the point of that was, and then you got like, there's one that's like, how did you make this just sitting in like your apartment with these materials? Like the electro cuff one that like shoots and then like cuffs the guy's chest and electrocutes him, like. How did you? What is that? Like it extends out and cuffs it. Like this makes no sense. Like how did you arrange for this with these random materials?
Because it sucks because it's like, man, I really liked Clint. I really liked Kate. I loved Yelena. I liked a lot of the character. Even the mom, like she was okay. Like she could have been written better, but it was good to see the mom be evil but nice, but still technically evil to the point where even her daughter betrays her.
Yeah.
So again, some of this was decently written, but some of it was like cringy, man. Like some of it was actually kind of rough.
Yeah, I just wish like they were building up to this. I wish there was a little bit more creativity, I guess, with these end like arrows. It should have been like an all out like crazy thing, but it was more just like, oh, okay, that one has a rocket, that one freezes.
Yeah.
That one's got some needles. Like it's not that like the most interesting one was easily both of the Pym arrows. Both of the Pym arrows were easily the coolest ones. Yep. And I still think that episode 3 is the best episode of the show, hands down.
It is. Definitely. I agree with you on that.
So yeah, then there's a sleep dart arrow, and then there's one that's just orange gas instead of purple gas. I don't know, like what's the difference? Why do I care? And this is cool and all. It's like it's not that great. Like it's kind of revolving around them, and they're fighting them, but it's not super crazily choreographed, and it's just kind of like it's kind of cool. And then the biggest problem I noticed, I don't know if you noticed this, but my God, you can very easily see, and I went back and double checked that those arrows are not real. And when they pulled him out, they couldn't because they clearly just told them on the day like, hey, just pretend like you're pulling out arrows. And so when they pulled them out, you can see like they don't pull high enough out for those arrows to like come out of the quiver enough. Yeah. So a lot of the CGI arrows just kind of like clip through the back of the quiver and just like come out, and it's like really obvious.
Damn.
And it's bad. Like I'm sure they've done it in previous movies because they don't actually, or in previous episodes too, but like they don't actually have them pulling out the arrows. But like this was very noticeable for me. Like I noticed it immediately. I was like, oh my God, it's like rubber arrows like being pulled out and like clipping through the stuff. It's like oof.
Yeah. This show was definitely
I don't know what that was about.
This show definitely felt very rushed, very. I don't know, man. I don't know. This show could have been so much better. I was excited about it after episode 3, and then my excitement kind of went down. I can't believe I'm going to say this. If you're an MCU fan, you're going to watch it anyways. You don't even have to worry about that. But you can skip this. You 100%.
I don't know. My excitement. Well, yeah. I mean, I think you're probably right about that. I agree. But I think my excitement probably peaked with the end of episode 5 for sure.
Sorry, I agree with you. Yeah, when they showed Kingpin, I wanted awesomeness. I even told you like how cool would it be if Daredevil just had a quick little cameo in there, like.
Yeah.
But no, we didn't get any of that. And not just that. You ready for this? Kingpin is dead? Question mark? Like, bro.
Well, okay. So there's a couple more things.
I don't think he is.
There's a couple more things. Bouncy bag arrow.
Yeah.
Sonic arrow, and then Pym shrinking arrow.
Yeah.
And those guys are dead. They're dead, and they don't care. They did not care at all. They let that owl take them. That owl is going to eat those people. They don't care. They didn't go back for them. They're done. What was that about? I didn't get that.
They were trying to figure out how to get rid of them, right? They're like, what do we do now? He's like, oh, we'll ask Scott. And then the fucking bird comes picks him up. They're like, well, there's that. Dude, they didn't even try.
Yeah, that's the line. Well, there's that. Yeah. Well, there's those like 6 guys in a van that are dead now.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? And then he like shoots over at the guy whose name I still can't remember, and he like splits the arrow down the middle, which was really cool. And
you also missed the one where he explodes. He like without looking explodes.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. And I find it good. At first I found it good because Yelena shows up and he's like, I didn't kill her. It was she sacrificed herself, and Yelena
And
does
he
not
never
believe
says.
him.
Listen, he never says. I just want to make sure we go over this because this is low key kind of important. He never says I didn't kill her. Okay, because you can tell that guilt still weighs on him. So he never said the
Yeah,
words I didn't kill her.
he
He
says
just
she
said she
sacrificed
sacrificed
herself.
herself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
So
Yelena doesn't believe him right away, which
nope,
I guess was good in a way.
sort of. It kind of ruins it, but sort of.
Okay, so look, dude, did
Go ahead.
Kingpin did he rip a car door off with his bare hands? He
Well,
did,
yeah.
right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. What was
is
that?
that?
What was that? Right.
Like, what?
Okay. So I understand Kingpin is supposed to be this badass, strong motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
But what?
It really worries me that they are not keeping the Daredevil continuity because I think they're trying to go for a more like comic-y version of him.
Yeah.
Because obviously in the comics he's like strong
he's
to a
strong,
superhuman degree.
Yeah.
But like the most he does in Daredevil is he like punches a wall and like dents it.
Yeah.
And like it clearly hurts him though. It's not like he just shakes it off.
Yep.
He's still a human person. He's just a big, strong human person, but not that strong. So I don't know. I was like, did he do that? Like what? Like I didn't know what was going on at first. So I that's really weird to me.
They did play it off as he did that. They also made him extremely superhuman because my man got hit by a car and kept on going.
He got rocked, dude. That was ridiculous. And also, how did neither of them notice her driving away? Like, there's no sound of the car starting.
Terrible.
Where did she go?
Terrible.
She just like took a lap around the block, and then like what happened? Like,
yeah, it's really bad, man. It's really bad. And then don't even get me started on this fucking trash. I'm pissed.
Well, hold on. We're not there. We're not there just yet because it cuts over to Maya fighting her brother.
Oh yeah,
and 6th episode is not enough for me to care about them.
Maya, I
did like her, but I didn't care about their relationship at all.
No,
I just liked her because she seemed like pretty cool, but like I don't really care about either of them. There's only 6 episodes, and they were barely in them for the most part, so I didn't care. And yeah, he's dead now, so rip, I guess. I don't know. I didn't see any point to that whole scenario. I mean, excuse me, aside from setting her up to do something in the future, I guess.
Yeah.
So there's some cool moments though, like the fact like during this fight between Kingpin and Kate, like he picks up all of her arrows in one bundle and just snaps them casually. Yeah. That is believable to me. I like that.
That's very believable, very cool.
That was very cool.
Absolutely.
But yeah, this quote unquote fight is really just she runs at him, dodges. Yeah. And then he picks her up and throws her. And then she runs at him and he throws her. And then she runs at him and he throws her. And then she runs at him and he throws her. It happens like 6 times and then the fight.
We never see a showcase. We never see a showcase of her actual skills that we've been built up to believe throughout this whole season. B, the cuts when he throws her.
We do in the not in this fight, but we do in the other in the.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so we've been built up to believe that she's got skill, right? She showcases none of that.
Well, skill with a bow and arrow, but she doesn't have her bow and arrow.
No, but she still has some hand to hand a little bit.
Not really. We don't get any sense of that in the rest of the show. There's no sense that like she's an insane like a martial arts genius. It's like just that she's ridiculously good with the arrows, which we do get to fully see in the ice skating rink thing where she's like sliding on her knees and stuff.
No, but we did get to see it because she was fighting people hand to hand in the beginning, in the very first episode when she puts on the Ronin suit. She doesn't fight.
Yeah, but she wasn't doing well.
No, she was doing pretty.
She wasn't like completely destroying them though.
No.
Versus Kingpin is a whole different thing. He's like on another level.
Kingpin's a beast, but it doesn't matter. That's the thing. She didn't even try to fight. She literally just kept running at him and kept getting grabbed and thrown. Like
it was like a boss fight.
Yeah, it's stupid. But like what pissed me off is like every time he threw her, it would cut, and you can 100% tell she wasn't doing this stunt, which is fine. Which is fine, except your cuts are terrible. Dude, at one point...
He just did it so many times.
Yeah, at one point he threw her, right? And when he threw her, she landed in a different spot than the cut was. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what is this, bro? Like, fuck off. Like, that throw fest really pissed me off. It just made me mad. It turned me off to the show completely. I was like, this is
WWE.
Bad. Not even WWE, bro. Like indie.
WWE light.
Yeah, sure. WWE from Wish.
Yeah. So, and then to end it though, she flicks what I think is one of his wrist cuff things. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure what it was supposed to be. I don't know what it was supposed to be.
I slowed it down and went back and kind of looked at it, and that's the best I could tell. I almost thought it was a ring, but it looks like it does have like a part where it would connect, like one of those.
I also thought it was a ring, but then I was like, where was he in the show?
Yeah, well, he is wearing like a ring. I think he is wearing a ring on one of his hands, but I don't think that's what she used. I think it's one of his cuff, like whatever those are called, which was a huge thing in the TV show. But they're not. It doesn't look like the same ones that were like in the TV show that had such like meaning to his character. So I don't know what that's about. But yeah, she uses that and like lands on the pile of all the arrows. And so let's just recap. Kingpin got shot with an arrow, by the way, when he got out of the car. Direct impact, shot with an arrow. Shook that off. Hit by a car. And literally blown up at point blank range by like a massive explosion. Like they didn't make it seem like it was like, oh, some like, little stun explosion arrow that Hawkeye had. It was a massive explosion with a lot of flames and smoke. And he was chilling.
Had they honestly been like, oh, he was wearing an armored suit, that would have made sense. Something, but no, nothing.
Insane. He's just a tank.
I was gonna say he's a fucking tank, bro.
Walking tank.
He didn't give a singular fuck about anything anybody did.
So Yelena,
go ahead. Sorry.
Well, what were you gonna say? Which is why?
No. Which is why I don't believe the ending, but we're not there yet.
Yeah. So Yelena went pretty much like this whole plot line went pretty much exactly how I expected, but maybe like not as good. Even I never expected it to be good because it was never kind of good to begin with. Like the motivation and like the idea of it is just so flimsy and weird that she just like someone comes up and hey, Hawkeye killed your sister. Oh, really? Okay, I'm gonna go kill him.
Yep.
Hello? You're not gonna ask any questions. You're just gonna say, all right, I'm off. Now I believe this, I guess.
Even worse. You know what I would have absolutely 100% adored if they fucking did it, bro?
What?
Had they had her literally beat him an inch to his fucking life.
Yeah.
And then like something else happened or Kate fucking jumped in and like something, keep her anger, but then give us something that's believable, right? My man whistled. He whistled, bro, and she was like, "How did you know that?" Like, come on, man.
I could see her be like him just being like, "I'm not gonna fight you," like that type of thing.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like that's been in a bunch of stuff. I mean, that's very cliche, but I think it would have.
But I would have preferred it. Yes.
That he would just be like, "I'm not gonna fight you," and just let her beat the crap out of him until she gets all of her anger out, and she's like, "Oh my god, why are you letting me do this?" And then maybe he could be like, "Because blah blah blah," and explain a little bit more.
Or he's beating the shit out of she's beating the shit out of him, and he would have he had literally just been like because Natasha would have never wanted me to do that. I'm saying something.
Yeah.
No.
So, and I mean the way that it happens is it's it makes perfect sense. It's just that it's kind of cringy is the only problem. Just like the way that he and it's also the way that it just kind of cuts into the fight, and you hear the whistle, but it's like. The camera's focused on her. You can't even tell that he did it. It's so weird, just the way that it was shot. It does make sense because that is a way that she'd be like, okay, clearly Natasha, like this isn't just some thing. Like Natasha trusted him so much to the point where she was constantly talking about me and telling him about this secret that only me and her knew.
Yes,
so that makes sense. It's just like, okay, clearly this guy's telling the truth because how else would he know that?
Yeah,
it's just the way that they did. It's just the way that they did it that did not go well. And then this thing that he says afterwards, where he gives this little exposition about how she talked about her all the time. She's like, all she talked about was she was in the plane and she wanted to keep. It's like that's so weird. Not cool, man.
No, they did I'm good, man. They did a really bad job with the way they set up.
Florence Pugh, phenomenal. She was killing it. She was the way her crying and everything. She was fantastic.
Yes.
Gotta give credit
dude, the way she gave it her all. She gave it her all for sure.
She really did. With whatever she had, she was working. She was doing great with what she had. So now what with Yelena? Like, I don't even know. Like, what
exactly? They didn't.
She's not a villain. Like, is she gonna be? What is she gonna be?
Why couldn't they give us
to be like a new Black Widow for the Avengers? Or like the new Avengers?
Listen. Why couldn't they give us another after credit scene where remember what happened at the end of Black Widow? Where Vaughn, whatever, I can't remember her name right now, approaches her. Why couldn't they give us another cutscene Yeah. Why couldn't they just give another scene with that at the end? No, instead they gave us probably, in my opinion.
Well, because it seems like I guess the Countess would have to be working for Kingpin, right?
No, she would have to be working
Why
for
would the
Kingpin.
Countess be the one who gives her the thing? Like, and then she goes, and then Kingpin just happens to contact her and hire her
Oh yeah. That's
unrelated.
what. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's so.
That's another thing that I don't understand. It's like I don't get it, man. I don't know.
I don't
This
know.
show. I think this is for me. Opinion. Like no lie. I think this is one of the bigger L's that Marvel has taken. Honestly.
Hold on. Let's finish out. We got
Oh
just a little
yeah.
bit left. So then they cut back and they're like, "Where'd he go?" And like Kingpin's body isn't there,
Yeah.
and he's just working down the alley, and
The
Maya
truck
shows
pulls up.
up,
Yep, and it's Maya. And
and she
honestly,
pulls out the
stupid.
9,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Pulls up the 9.
I mean, like, it's. I mean, I'll say, like within the context of the show, it makes perfect sense. It's just like, what
Why?
are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like,
Why?
this is the biggest like thing about this show. And like
He's
my
not dead.
best guess,
He's
like
not
there's
dead.
no way he's dead. I think the one thing they've got is that they're going to, if they do another season of this or in whatever else they want to bring him back in, they'll just cut back to this scene and you'll see that she turned the
Shot to
gun
the
to the
side.
side and like
Yeah.
made the moral decision to let him go
Should
or
let him live.
something.
Yep.
That's what it's going to be.
Because she probably would feel like she's no better than he is.
But the only problem is I would say that, but then there is actually a chance that she killed him because I would say, oh no, because they like pan the camera away and not, but they have to pan the camera away because this show is not
It's
Daredevil level of
PG-13, yes.
violence. So if she did
And
actually
to
kill
be
him,
fair,
that's how they would have to show it. So there's
and
no
to
way
be
to know.
fair,
It's a 50-50.
she shot, right?
Yeah.
And they insinuated that a body fell. There was another thud. So it was like bang, and then like there was like a nice little dropping down. So that's
I
what I'm
didn't
saying. I
notice that.
don't know. I did notice that. I was like, so I don't know. I don't know. I think the show. I don't know. Say it again. It's an
Hold
L.
on, I'm almost there. They're all wrapped up and Haka
Hawkeye.
makes it home for Christmas.
He does, of course, just like you said
And
he would, which is cliche as
yeah,
fuck.
of course. I thought that the night they were fighting was supposed to be Christmas Day, though. I thought they
I
had
also
mentioned
thought
that.
so too, and then it was the
I don't know.
morning, so I don't know.
All right, so now they're back on Christmas, and the dog is named Lucky,
Yeah,
which
which I already
just
said.
happens. I don't know that it just happens. They don't mention it at all. She's just like, his name's Lucky now.
Yeah, but to be fair, I think the cop said, "Oh, I think I got a name for him," and they never went back over. Like, there's might be a deleted scene somewhere that they go over it.
Maybe, yeah. I do kind of feel like, and I might be wrong. I don't know if you agree with me on this, but like when he gets there and he looks at the door and no one's there, right? There's a
Yeah,
split second where he looks at it and he kind of smiles. I
yeah,
kind of feel like that was in a way, kind of like a nod back to Endgame, where like now, because he had that point where he went back in time and
yeah,
went there and he wasn't able to interact with them, and I felt like he was maybe looking at it like now, like just kind of smiling to himself, like everything's back to normal. Like I'm gonna
yeah,
go through that door and my family's there and I can be with them. I
yeah.
might be wrong, but otherwise, I don't know why they put that shot in there. It just seemed a little weird of
It's
that
funny
door
because
specifically, and
Rachel.
no one's there, and then he smiles. I don't
It's
know.
funny because Rachel was saying she's like, "Wait, is something gonna be wrong with his family?" Because that pause is a little too long of nobody coming out to see him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. But that's
So,
what I think it is. Is like that's yeah. I was like at first like, what's going on? Why is no one there? And then I was like, okay, maybe they're kind of calling back to that in a way.
yeah,
Um, and honestly, I do really like his wife being a Shield agent. I thought that was great.
yes,
That was a
I
good
actually
reveal.
like that. It makes
That makes
sense too.
perfect
Like,
sense. Yes.
where would he have time to go look for somebody when he's an agent? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he met
It
her through
makes sense.
Shield.
Yep.
They got married. That's why everything is so secret. They're off the
Mhm.
grid,
That's also why she's
and why
supportive and
she's
understands.
so supportive,
Yes.
and the fact that she's supportive of even killing,
Yeah, so
like
she
was
needs to.
suggested, because she's probably killed people before, you would imagine.
It's good.
And
Good.
it adds a little extra kind of funniness to Age of Ultron when Tony walks in. He goes like, "She's just another agent," and those are two smaller
Yeah,
agents.
yeah,
She was actually an agent, which is
yeah.
kind of
It's
funny.
true.
Um, and yeah, and then she's like, "So I'm thinking Lady Hawk," and he's like, "That's awful."
That's all. Yeah.
And then she says another name. He's like, "That is way worse." And then she says something else like, what did she say? Hawk shot, like
Yeah,
hot
hot
shot.
shot. Yeah, hot shot. Yeah.
And then it ends with him being like, "I've got an
I have an
idea,"
idea, and then
and
boom,
I don't know what
Hawkeye.
that means because I thought she
It's
was always
exactly
just
what you
referred
think.
to as Kate Bishop.
Nope, it's exactly what you think.
I don't think anything. I don't know
I
what
don't know
she's
if you know
called.
this or not about her comics. She is Hawkeye.
Oh.
She's his
Oh.
protege. She takes over for him. She becomes Hawkeye.
Well, that is what I thought, but I thought like it would be like something. I don't know. I thought she always just went by Kate Bishop. She's always called Kate Bishop, right?
Yeah, because everybody calls her Kate Bishop when Clint comes back, and he takes the moniker of Hawkeye back.
Yeah.
But eventually, he does retire. He does disappear, and she becomes the next Hawkeye.
Yeah, but oh man, is that really how this is gonna happen? Like,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
He's just done now.
Either we're gonna have a season 2, or I don't know, man. We'll see. Well, I don't think this is over. The way it ended, there's no season 2. There's no movie to this. Fuck off.
It's not over. We've got a post-credit scene to talk about.
Oh, fuck you! Don't waste my time with this shit. You could talk about it. I didn't even finish.
I mean, there's nothing to talk about except like
there really is. It was cringy,
I'm kind of surprised, like. Yeah, but it's obviously supposed to be cringy, and I'm just kind of surprised that, like, I mean, a lot of effort went into it. It's, like, really well made. Like, really well made. Like, to a ridiculous degree.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really find it funny. Like, it's clearly supposed to be a joke, and I don't really find it funny, but, like, it's obviously, it's supposed to be cringy. Like, that's the kind of the point, is that you're sitting there like, oh my god, they did this. But it's fine. You know, I just wish, it would be... The only reason that you dislike it so much is because it's in place of what could have been something actually interesting, setting up something else.
Yeah.
As a joke, it's just like, okay, that's kind of fine, that's cute or whatever. But it's just like, I wish we had an actual post-credit scene of anything.
Anything, yeah.
Literally anything.
Making that after-credit scene really solidified Hawkeye being pointless.
I thought there was going to be an after-credit scene or something, or of like literally cutting back to Kingpin and Maya and showing her like not shooting him. I thought that's what it was going to be, or something showing that he's still alive.
So I told Rachel to fast forward because I was hoping we were going to have a scene where like maybe Kingpin was sitting in the crowd watching the show and like with Maya next to him. Anything, bro. Nothing. Absolutely.
Well, I don't even. That's literally the exact like that whole Rogers the Musical thing that shows at the end is like. The parts that they showed in episode 1 or episode 2 or whatever it was are all taken from that. It was all just that one. So it's the same. That's the same thing.
Performance, yeah.
It's the same performance. So it's just the same one that Hawkeye watched originally.
I sound so cynical, but I really did not. This show really let me down, man. It really let me down. It was a letdown. I don't recommend it for anybody. I can't recommend it for people. The pacing of this show was very bad.
Yeah, I guess I would definitely put this as the lowest one.
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry.
Probably just slightly under Falcon and Winter Soldier.
But but Falcon and the Winter Soldier at least had impact because we got a new Captain America. That at least was impactful. You know what I mean? This, no. We didn't even so much get a new Hawkeye. So,
I mean,
but she didn't solidify it. Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's whatever.
Dude, I mean, the Kingpin thing. What? I don't understand. Like, are they serious? They can't. Marvel is way smarter than that. Cannot. Like,
It's not dead. There's a reason the camera panned up, dude. They could have done it better, right? They could have had her shoot it and then him fall over.
That's what I say. Is there's a reason the camera panned up, but like we said, like they can't show this stuff. You know what I mean?
Like, they can show. Okay, so they could have panned up, had her shoot, and then literally just shot from like I don't know his shoulders down and had him fall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something. They could have shown if they wanted to insinuate that he was dead, trust me, dude.
Yeah.
They could have.
You're probably right.
So no, I don't think he's dead. And
it's just such a weird thing to do. It's just so strange to do it in that way.
Doctor Strange?
Yes, Doctor Strange, where he'll be showing up next in Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness.
But yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see.
Doctor Strange, Wanda, and Kingpin.
Doctor Strange, Wanda, and Doctor Strange.
Yes. Well, yeah. Well, spoilers, but yes, I kind of forgot about that actually. Which I mean, they released the teaser now. I don't know if you saw that. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, I did.
Now, so.
It's the same one. It's the same thing.
Yeah. I figured it was. So yeah, I would have to. I would say what shows have there been? WandaVision, Loki, and Falcon and Winter Soldier. Right. That's it.
Yeah, and What If?
But in terms of the live action shows.
Oh yeah, those are it.
So I would still, I guess, have to say, it would be Hawkeye at the bottom, then Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then WandaVision, and then Loki at the top.
Yeah,
I think we're on the same page with that.
Yep, we are.
And
WandaVision and Loki are semi close, by the way. They're not far apart from each other.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. But what's next? What's the next one? We've got I
don't even know.
She-Hulk.
No,
I think it's Ms. Marvel, right?
She-Hulk. No, I don't know if we got Ms. Marvel actually. I think it's She-Hulk next. No. Actually, it could be Ms. Marvel. Then She-Hulk. Then we have Secret Wars, Armor Wars with Rhodey and Punisher. If the rumors are to be believed.
It's Miss Marvel.
John Barenthal, by the way. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I don't know what you said, so I'm gonna ignore it.
I'm saying for the Punisher, it's the original actor that played the Punisher.
Oh no, I knew that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying in Armor Wars. Yeah, he's in Armor Wars. And you know who the main villain's supposed to be, right?
Yeah, I do. What his name? I can't. Hammer.
Yeah, dude, that gets me excited. So I can't wait.
Hopefully they nail that. So yeah, next one is Miss Marvel in 2022. And oh my God, the show consists of 6 episodes. What are you talking about? Why?
We'll see what happens, man. We'll see. I'm actually about to. So there's nothing left for me to watch. Disney's done. So I'm actually about to get rid of my Disney Plus subscription for right now.
That's not true.
Yes.
That's not true. Hold on. Let me just double check. In 7 days, Book of Boba Fett comes out, and we're gonna talk about that for sure.
Oh shit!
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, that's the last.
No, because we haven't done anything Star Wars related. Damn it! So we haven't done anything Star Wars related.
You mean you want to kind of
Yeah, I kind of wanted to lead into it. Yeah, I didn't even fuck. We messed up.
No, that's fine because I think it's better if we're gonna lead into something that we lead in. Like we can lead into the Obi-Wan show or like the next Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
the Obi-Wan show is what sometime early 2022. You would think like maybe like May or something like that.
Yeah. Fuck.
So that will give us plenty of time.
I think I'm still gonna get rid of my Disney. When is it? In 7 days? I can still get rid of my Disney Plus subscription for this month.
Yeah.
I can get rid of it. Wait for the next episode. Watch it until I get because I have to get Netflix again. Doesn't matter. Hold on. Let's just end the podcast. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah. So thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.